Hello and welcome once again to the Joint Venture Insider Show. Part of what will determine if we do this is if we get feedback or not. If we don't, that's kind of my answer. So email me, Michael at guyknowsaguy.com, and let me know what you think. So there's two segments of this show. First, we have the where I talk about upcoming programs that you can be an affiliate of, whatnot, and then, of course, the interviews. And my thinking is the interviews are the really valuable part, but believe it or not, the first segment is far more work, gathering information, making the slides and everything. So I'm thinking, what if we drop the first segment and just focus on the interviews, and that's the whole show, and then maybe get back to the other segment later? I don't know. I'd love your feedback. Email me, Michael at guyknowsaguy.com, or comment below. Let me know what you think. If the first stuff's worth doing, or if we should just dump it and just do the interviews and get some really great JV people on here sharing their knowledge. Love to know, but we're not dropping it yet. So let me share with you what's going on coming up. All right. So, of course, as always, this show is brought to you by the Joint Venture Insider Circle, and their launch is happening now. It is wrapping up tomorrow, September 1st. So Joint Venture Insider Circle, if you are not familiar, is the place to learn how to do joint ventures, how to put your program together, how to make something partnerable. Their basic program, only $9.97, teaches you really everything you need to get started in that space. And of course, it has network to make those connections. So they also have JVX coming up. I don't have the link for that here, but JVX is coming up in October. This is their live event in Orange County, California. A great event, a lot of great learning and connections and networking and all kinds of good stuff. Highly recommend it. Next up, coming up in January, is the Sell Books with Collabs event. It's a 4-day event held on Zoom. There's a 50% commission on ticket sales and a second tier, 25% commission as well. So, well worth looking at if you have an audience of people who are looking to sell more books. Also coming up, we have Lorraine Ellen Scott's Simple Healing Arts Academy. This is the Ignite Your Introvert Confidence. If you have introverts in your audience, this is a good one because introverts often feel very underserved. Now, there's a lot of programs out there for them, but they feel underserved, and feeling is what matters. So because they feel underserved, they're going to be interested in these kinds of programs. Definitely check this one out. Debbie Allen, for Educate to Sell Webinar Mastery, is coming up September 21st and 27th. The promo period is the 9th to the 19th. Information down in the show notes, as always. And, of course, James Lam. This is our guest today. We're going to be hearing from him. This is his secrets to making big money with small lists. So he talks a lot about, how to build this sort of thing. This launch is nearly over. And as I said, he's going to share with us in a few minutes some of the things that he has learned from this and some great ideas. And also beginning this week is Jennifer Lyall's Ready to Be Seen program. This is a powerful 3-week energy clearing program for service-based entrepreneurs. Definitely something worth checking out. So that's the section with some upcoming events coming up. As I said, I would love to hear your feedback. Do you find that valuable, or is that just like, it's interesting to hear you talk about it, but because what I'm not seeing is the clicking engagement. So if that's something valuable, we can certainly keep it. We can definitely keep doing it. But I'm starting to think that bringing the experts on, as I'm about to do, that is where the real power occurs. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. So we've had a little bit of technical adventures. James, we actually pre-recorded his interview. And I was joking that Catherine Calhoun was on here last week. She's all about making technology easy and making it work. And I think she may have taken her magic with her, because all of a sudden my background stopped working on Chrome. I had to do this on Edge, and we had to pre-record things. We had some other challenges. So I need Catherine Calhoun to bring me her technology magic back. But if everything works well, when we come back from the mid-show, you're going to see an interview with James Lam. Cross your fingers for me.
And now,
marketing. Now, James, I believe you have a launch. All right, and we're back with James Lam with Look Ahead Marketing. Now, James, I believe you have a launch which is coming up. Is that correct?
I do, Mr. Whitehouse. It's between September, I should know this. September 12th and 19th is promo period. So we're promoting to a live workshop, which is new for us and we know converts, and it's brand new for us. So we always work with the participants live. It's one of the things that make us different. It's not pre-recorded. It's not a thinly veiled webinar. It actually is a workshop where they'll get things done, and there is an invitation to work with us further.
Yep. And so when you say workshop, this is not just like check out our stuff. This is actually at the end of it, they will have something done.
Yes.
They'll be their life is better for having attended whether they buy or not.
Yeah, so we work really closely with online coaches, online healers, and course creators. And we work with those people who are kind of stuck in the like 5-figure realm, and they can't seem to launch consistently. They can't seem to get any mastermind going. Like it seems to be, they were, a bunch, because I used to be here. They work harder than everybody else and they can't seem to monetize.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And so we figure out, because normally it's not. And what we're noticing is in that group, they take like wild swings. Like I'm no longer doing coaching on energy. I'm now doing coaching on eating breakfast oatmeal. I'm no longer coaching on eating breakfast oatmeal. I'm now coaching on how high to hang the wall art. I don't know what it is, right? Whatever it is for you. And yes, those are funny examples. And no, we don't actually have people in there that actually do that. So one of the things that we do is we take the wild swings, and in the workshop, we curl it, oh my God, contain it down. So they come up with 3 separate things. Number 1 is a single product that actually starts the cycle. Most of the problems that we find is people try to pack too much in too nebulous a package, and it's hard to sell that thing. Number 1. Number 2, the one change that you can make in your marketing that is completely free, that will actually pack your list with people who actually follow you and will buy. And finally, I'm going to sit down with you and do a 12-week blueprint on what you need to get done and what you need to leave behind. Because the honest to God truth is where you are now is a reflection of what you did 3 months ago, right? Yep. So that's what you get in the workshop. And the best thing is it's live. I do them individually. You're in a small group. Those people, like, it's weird. We get 20 people in a workshop. 10 of them have their camera on. Those 10, we move ahead monumentally.
Okay. Yeah. And so you said you always do the interactive workshops, the move ahead. Have you tried doing recorded webinars and there's other things and found that didn't work, or is that just not your style?
We did. So we've done a couple more automated things. So in the beginning, when we first started, we did pre-recorded webinars. That didn't work so hot, partially because, as a new coach chasing the dream of drinking Mai Tais on the beach and things like that, it just didn't work. Okay. And we're in a categorically different space. We do have a 5-day challenge that we have run. I like these workshops, and this is a little bit of a drop for you guys. I like these workshops for 2 reasons. Number 1 is our sales ratio is better. Our sales ratio for people who show up is actually better. Number 1. Number 2, if they don't show up, we have another kick of the can and a workshop a little bit later on in the week. Right? The problem with a 5-day challenge is this many people opt in, this many people join the Facebook group, this many people participate. And if you lose that, unless you have a masterclass afterwards, you fundamentally lose them all. And that's a big problem.
Right. Yeah, because they can't jump back in on Wednesday.
Exactly. Exactly.
Challenge. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that makes a lot of sense for the workshop. And part of the idea of this show is to share some of the different ways people are doing things, because there's so many different ways, because everyone's like, oh, what's the right way? Well,
there's no right way
this week.
And what's interesting is, so I have a group of masterminders myself, again, online coaches, healers, and course creators. And I teach them typically how to do a 5-day challenge first. Why do I do that? Because there's more chance of making mistakes. You have a wider runway, like a longer runway, to get to know, like, and trust, like the people to know, like, and trust you. And because of that, the chances of sales are much higher at the end of that than in a workshop. In a workshop, like, you really got to nail it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
The only reason why I can do workshops. Yeah, the only reason why I can do workshops so well is because I did the 5-day challenge and I've gone through it.
Makes sense. Yeah. And so in terms of like finding partners, finding affiliates, what do you find works best for recruiting and motivating the partners to promote it?
Knowing people like yourself, my friend, which is actually the truth. So if you have a list that's similar, we're always happy to reciprocate. Okay. And I think a lot of people, I think we make two mistakes. One of them is that we put too much emphasis on the big whales. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
there's people like who are like, oh my God, this person's supporting my launch. It's absolutely going to print like $4 million. And it doesn't, right? We've had whales support our launch before, and they've had sales, and it's been fewer sales than what we'd like. Does that make sense? Number one. Number two, the mistake that we make is I think we tend to get hemmed in with the same partners over and over and over again. And the honest to goodness truth is there's so many partners out there, right? If someone is taking too long, or they don't mail, or like they're giving you a hard time, like, okay, this is only my advice. Stop spending time with them because they're not going to fucking mail. Go and find somebody else, because by the time you persuade them to actually do something, you will have 10 other partners here who are better, who will become your like leaderboard Ds.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, I think the quality over quantity is a huge thing. I think a lot of things people don't realize, if somebody has a 50,000 person list, 100,000 person list, oftentimes those lists are aggregated by freebie seekers, because someone's like, oh, I want the free things. They put their email address in, and that then gets them invited to the next thing, which is free, and they put their email address in. And so if somebody has a huge list, it's because they've aggregated from a series of those. So you might get the same results from the 10,000 person list as a 100,000 person list.
Well, this is your example of how powerful the right JV is. Okay, we mail to our list all the time. We cultivate we cultivate them, and we invite them to our workshop. Obviously, now those people who came in on a freebie, we sell 1 in 16 who stay to the end. Okay, 1 in 16 we stay to the end. Now on a JV we sell 1 in 4. So what's the difference? Why are we selling the JV traffic 4 times as much? It's because it's the right traffic. So never underestimate the power of somebody sending you 20 opt-ins, 50 opt-ins, right? Like, it doesn't sound like a lot, and they have a higher tendency to show up, and they have a higher propensity to buy.
Now, you say freebie, you mean like that's something you send to your own list with a freebie, or is that
like a giveaway? We would get them from a giveaway. We have a list of round about 8,000 now, Michael.
Okay.
and God, like getting to do stuff sometimes, like pulling teeth, because a lot of them came from the freebie. Now, you need a list. You will always need a list. Okay. There's in my opinion only, there is a distinct mistake that we're making. We think that the more we email them with, like, so my people are I'm always like, look, email them to join it. And they're like, I only have 2 weeks to tell them what it's about and to do social runway and things like that. And I'm like, that's fine, it'll work. And they're like, shouldn't 5 weeks be better? And the honest to God truth is, we can only get so much blood from a stone. Right. And so we're making the mistake by assuming that the more runway you have, the better it's going to be. And it's not always the case. Sometimes shorter is better.
Well, yeah, that makes sense too, because you're trying to build this narrative through a series of emails, and they're getting 100. I finally got my inbox to 0, and an hour later I had 26 emails in my mailbox. So
I'll email you more, Michael, because you need more emails.
But they're getting so many emails that each message has standalone, because they may only read that one out of the 7 they get from you on this topic. So it's much more about the volume to get the one through, as opposed to some kind of story or narrative you're getting them into, because they're not following that.
Yes. Does that make sense, my friends?
Yeah.
So that's what we're finding works right now. The other thing that works for us is ending up on leaderboards, right? So we ended up on Alina's Vincent's leaderboard, both opt-ins and sales, right? Number 1. Number 2, like, going first is what Jay Facette always says, go first. And so we tend to, so, we work with you, Michael, we work with Danny Bermont. Represents people like Lisa Bloom and Danny Innie, and so, for them, they're significantly bigger than we are. So we have to support multiple launches in good faith by making the leaderboard before we get something back. And that's almost like karma in the piggy bank that allows people to come in a little bit later and support our launches.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And being really, really actively in that game to say, how can you provide the value before expecting to take value is a huge thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also make a mistake, and I have to be careful how I say it, because people are motivated different ways. Some people are motivated by the money. the number of people who I've had be like, hey, James Lam, can I make a pitch to your group? Because like I know I can sell a bunch of them and make you a bunch of money. And the honest to God truth is, yes, the money's good. What's better is I want you to support me so I have more money in the future. That is a better ask. And if we can work out an arrangement, that makes more sense for everybody involved.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
yeah.
But now when you say support, you mean like reciprocation, or do you mean like it'd be more effective for them to come and say, I can provide value to your community?
Reciprocation,
and you'll also
right?
make money. Okay.
Reciprocation. One of the challenge, like if you think about it, now we have 40 people on SBS, which is the 12-week program that we run. Okay. And so people want access to that now, but they're going about it all the wrong way.
Yep.
Right. Here I am being like, look, I'm happy to give you access. This is the deal you have to mail for me for the next launch or the next 3 launches, depending on your list size, right? And the people who are in my program are clearly buyers. Okay. We've probably generated several $1,000s from them, and they've made several $1,000s on their own, right? Through their sales and selling affiliate stuff. So it is an active list, people who do listen, and not everybody gets access, right? So one of the easiest ways to actually move your business ahead is promise to serve and support as to go for the easy sale.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense. And I think, one thing you mentioned, everyone's motivated differently. So, get an idea, if you're trying to partner with someone, get an idea of what they're motivated by. Because some people are like, this is my community. I guard them jealously. No amount of money will let someone in here. But if you'll provide them value, then we can partner. Others, it's more a matter of reciprocation, and it's more a matter of it's about, we need to be well matched, but also you need to be able to bring me more traffic. And so there's all kinds of different ways to approach.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Michael. So for us, it's reciprocation. Obviously, you have to add value. You can't just go in and just kind of crapshoot everywhere, right? Like we're asking you to add value and reciprocate as well, because I will do the same thing for you as well, all the way back.
Yeah, that's a really good way to think about it. Well, this has been some really great advice, and well, best of luck on your launch, which is starting in the next week, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Well,
and
best
there's
luck with that.
still time to sign on as an affiliate, right? And if you want my support, I'm happy to do it for you too.
All right. And so the link to sign up as an affiliate is down in the show notes. And your contact information, I believe, in the show notes. Also, you can probably tell the background's different. We're pre-recording this and then grafting it onto the show. So the miracles of modern technology. So I thought that was your office. Will be in the show notes. Huh?
What do you mean? I thought that was your office.
Well, the background around.
Are you not on like the top level overlooking Manhattan?
You got me. Discovered the secrets. You're pulling back the curtain of artifice.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge.
Thanks, Michael. Great to be here.